it does something that the British Museum does exceptionally well, which is to create dialogues between different cultures, to foster collaboration.
I think it's especially important right now because it feels like we live in quite a divided society at the moment.
Hello Culturally Curious. Today our hop brings us here to the British Museum where we're checking out the latest exhibition, Ancient India Living Traditions. This show explores the origins of three major world religions and their emergence through ancient Indian sacred art: Hinduism, Buddhism and Jainism. Let's take a look inside.
This is actually a panel that shows the early life of the Buddha, and this is Queen Maya. All of these incredible images of deities and enlightened teachers you see around you, they are relevant to the lives of almost 2 billion people around the world today, including here in the UK, where it very much forms part of our shared cultural heritage.
Drawing from the museum's South Asian collection with generous loans from national, international and community partners, Ancient India Living Traditions is the first exhibition ever to consider early Indian sacred art through a global pluralistic lens.
There are many people from that diaspora living here, practicing these religions. It's an embedded story as well. It's not just a story about another culture elsewhere. It's also part of Britain's story, that they're interconnected.
What I really wanted to do through this show is actually show the incredible and deep and long-lasting connections between Hindu, Jain and Buddhist art, and actually show how the origins and the inspirations came from a very similar source, which is the ancient and powerful and potent nature spirits of the subcontinent.
This exhibition explores each religion through the nature of spirits and symbols, looking at community, continuity and change. And there's something incredibly peaceful and meditative about the experience that's been created here. The symbolism and mythology and the nature spirits are still very enduring even today. And what is it about these three specific religions that has enabled that focus?
I think we can help answer that question through an incredible loan from our wonderful partners at CSMVS, which is a really ancient, in fact, possibly the earliest image of Gaja Lakshmi. The earliest image was actually shaped in about the 2nd century BCE. And what's incredible is that she hasn't changed since that time. And it's because the artists were able to capture something so profound, the idea of plenty and fertility and wealth, that it didn't have to change. There's something about it that resonates in us. This is about the transmission of particular imagery. So you've got Buddha, 2 bodhisattvas from what is now Pakistan, from Gandhara, then exactly the same composition on a stunning silk painting from Dunhuang, Western China, and then exactly the same composition again, but from Japan at this point, from the oldest Buddhist site in Japan. So it's incredible, over thousands of miles, the religious imagery stays the same.
This is where we're bringing the ancient into the contemporary.
It's filmed in my hometown of Leicester with my daughter and my grandmother, and they're basically talking about how our family celebrates Diwali. And so you've got the lovely Lakshmi here, and this is my grandma's family shrine. And it's talking about the sharing and transmission of traditions, mostly down the female line, which is really quite wonderful and special. It's about how people react to others. How do we all live together? What brings us peace and tranquility in our lives?
I think it's a very thoughtful show, and it gives people a space for contemplation, and hopefully it gives people a space to step back, to reflect and think about where this sits in relation to their own lives.
What would your outtake be for those who are visiting the exhibition?
I think to think more carefully about the connections, the many things that unite all of us, because they are so much more powerful than the forces and things that divide us up. And also, when we look back at the ancient past, actually the past plays such an incredible, vital role in our lives today, and sometimes we're just not aware of it. So I hope people are able to make that connection.